Broad Street Sports, the best Philly sports podcast.
Eagles just beat down on the Rams, and the storyline coming into the game was how will the Eagles secondary and the defense as a complete unit match up against a legitimate passer, Matt Stafford, and legitimate weapons like Cooper Kupp, Nacua, and let me just tell you this. The defense, they started shaky. They were getting punched in the mouth the first two drives. Then they made the necessary adjustments. The defensive line put a lot of pressure on Stafford, getting a lot of sacks. I mean, so they proved whatever it had to be. They did what they had to do. The offense, the first half was shaky. They had a lot of rust in the first half because they were off for 10 days. The second half came around, and they played absolutely outstanding. Saquon Barkley, this guy, it's time to put him in the MVP conversation. It's about time he's in that conversation. I mean, Jalen Hurts, as much as I bashed this guy, he played, I wouldn't say very well, he played well tonight. He didn't put the ball in the bad spots. He didn't make bad decisions tonight. This was a all-around, complete, amazing, immaculate victory for the Eagles tonight. I am ecstatic about this win tonight. I'm so ecstatic that it's damn near midnight, if not midnight, and I'm juiced up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run through a brick wall after watching that football game. Are you serious? Saquon Barkley, 255 rushing yards, over 300 yards combined? You got to be kidding. Oh, man, we got a lot to get into in this podcast, but before we get into everything, make sure you like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Then go on to Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and go follow me at Broad Street Sports. I mean, it's something you do not want to miss on all my platforms. I appreciate all the love, guys. So let's get right into this football game because, I mean, it's immaculate. It's an immaculate football game. There is nothing better. Let me tell you this. There is nothing better than blowing a team out on prime time Sunday night football on the road. There is nothing better than absolutely beating the brakes off of a team in their own stadium on a prime time Sunday night football game. Especially when your running back runs for 255 yards. Especially when you got your defense stepping up and making big plays. Oh, especially when the fans take over the opposing team's stadium. Over 55%, I would say over 55% of the fans in the stadium are Eagles fans. I mean, come on now. The Rams got to do a better job. The fans of the Los Angeles Rams got to do a better job. The hell are you doing? Letting the Philly fans take over, man. Come on now. Come on. Oh, I thought that was ridiculous in itself. Really. I really did. I thought that was ridiculous. Your team is 5-5. They've won, 3 or 4 straight? They've went on a very good run. They were playing red-hot football. And your team has a Sunday night football game against one of the best teams in the league. And your fans didn't show up to play. Your fans didn't show up to the stadium. Your fans allowed the Philadelphia Eagles fans to take over the stadium. I thought that was ridiculous in itself. There's no complaints from me, though. No complaints from me. Because the Birds got the win. And the electricity, the sounds of the stadium was outrageous tonight. The place was rocking. It sounded as if it was the NFC Championship game. Come on now. Come on. Fire me up. Come on. So obviously I have a couple things to touch on. This is the first thing I want to discuss because I mean this is This is outrageous. I wouldn't say it's outrageous, but let's just discuss this for a second here. I believe this was the Eagles' best and most impressive win of the season. They went in on a 10-day rest with rust on them. Look, the Eagles, I believe this was the Eagles' best and most impressive win of the season. They went on the road Sunday Night Football and played a red-hot Rams team and beat the brakes off of them. They had some rust early in the game that they had to shake off. The defense was getting punched in the mouth early in the game. They made the adjustments. The defensive line was outrageous tonight. The offense made adjustments. Saquon Barkley was running all over the field. The fans took over the stadium. Jalen Hurts had a good game. This was the most impressive win because they made adjustments and they actually executed the adjustments. And for the first time, I can say they actually did not get out-coached by the opposing team's coaches. That's the first time all year I can say that. That was the Eagles' best and most impressive win of the season. Wow. Wow. Come on. Come on now. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're good. It's a good football team. The Rams are a good football team. Come on. Another thing that needs to be discussed. I know we're giving the Eagles defense a lot of praise, as we should, but I think there's a part of this defense that's not getting enough praise and enough talking about, and that's the defensive line. They've done a great job this year, and especially tonight against the Rams, because you had Brandon Graham. Let's talk about this guy. He's pushing 35, 40, and he's bound to retire, and he played about 90 to 95% of the snaps tonight. He had 3 hits on the quarterback, 1 sack, and besides for him, Milton Williams, who doesn't get talked about enough, he had a sack, a lot of pressure. Jalen Carter getting a lot of pressure on Stafford. Josh Sweat getting pressure. Everybody, the defensive line has done a great job so far putting pressure on quarterbacks and making the quarterbacks throw it into coverage. Tonight was a clear example of the defense doing exactly that. The defensive line doing exactly what they had to do tonight. Exactly that. They did exactly that tonight. Pressure, sacks, not giving up. I mean, Brandon Graham. The hell? Whew. Come on. Brandon Graham is pushing retirement. And he's playing 90-something% of the snaps. And he's playing as if he's 25. Magnificent out of that defensive line tonight. Magnificent. And I stand by that. Really. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. The defense as a whole, when it comes to the defense as a whole tonight for me, I was proud. I was proud. And again, it's because the big storyline coming into tonight's game was how well will the Eagles defense play against the weapons? How well can Quinyon Mitchell continue to play the way that he has been playing? How will Cooper DeJean play? Will he play the same way that he has been playing? Same thing with Slay. Same thing with Nakobe Dean and Bourne. This was a big test for the Eagles defense tonight. A huge test. And they checked every possible box tonight. They checked every box. And it's like they checked every box. The coverage, the pressure from the defensive line, the linebacker play, especially from the Kobe Dean. Yeah. They checked every friggin' box. Now, what I will say was kind of iffy was how many pass interferences they got. I thought it was Eagles versus refs the entire night, but it's not even being biased. But the referees were so bad tonight, and they were bad against the Eagles. But even with all of that, the Eagles' defense prevailed. The Eagles' defense played with intensity. They played with heart. They wanted to hit. They wanted to be there. And they made their presence known. They really did. They made their presence known. Now, here's another thing that needs to be discussed. I think it's genuinely time that we put Saquon Barkley in the MVP conversation. We are taking this dude for granted. He is one of the best running backs I've ever seen. He's the best running back in the league. 255 rushing yards tonight. Over 300 yards combined with running and receiving. And when he broke free, he wasn't getting touched. He was running past guys. He was like walking on air around these guys. And then he would stiff arm some guys, juke, spin move. Saquon Barkley needs to be in the MVP conversation. I don't think there's a running back that we have seen be like this. If you want to put McCaffrey and say that he's like this, that's fine. But Saquon Barkley is a total different level of a running back. And we are so lucky as Eagles fans to have this guy. 255 yards, over 300 yards total receiving and running. I've never seen nothing like it. The guy's insane. The guy's insane. It's actually nuts to think about. Really. It's nuts. And the best part, here's the best part about it. The guy got hit in the, so to start the game, he was playing all right. He was getting a couple runs here and there, but nothing like we've seen out of Saquon, that to really, do great things, right? So, Saquon, then I think it was early in the second quarter, he ran up the gut and got hit in the balls. He got hit in the nuts, and he was hurting, right? So he was hurting. And obviously, as a male, I know what it feels like to get hit in the nuts. And it does not feel good. It does not feel pretty. So he runs off the field, whatever. And after that moment, after Saquon Barkley got hit in the nuts, the guy went crazy. Him getting hit in the nuts turned him, he turned the page, and he went nuts. He went crazy. Sometimes that's all people need, a little jump start. And that's what he got. Got hit in the nuts and turned into just an absolute animal tonight. Absolute animal. Wow. Come on. And then another thing that I think needs to be touched on here, and that is the offensive scheme. Here it is. I thought the Eagles' offensive scheme in the first half was pretty bad. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. It was not what it had to be. Then comes second half, this was a totally different offense. They were run first. Barkley was running free. Jalen Hurts was finding A.J. Brown consistently. So what I say is the offensive scheme tonight started bad. They had a lot of rust from the offensive side of the football, and then come the second half, they played outrageous. They had great play calling. They ran with Saquon. They passed well. They ran slants. I think the only downfall of tonight The only downfall of tonight was how many QB sneaks they were trying to do with Jalen Hurts. How many design runs they were trying to do with Jalen. I didn't like them. I didn't think because they didn't do anything, didn't go anywhere. And we risked putting him in the injury for no reason. So that was really the only problem I had with the play calling. Then at the end of the first half and the end of the second quarter, when we were trying to go down and score a field goal, we were running the QB sneaks again. And instead of running with Saquon trying to get in the Rams territory, we're running QB draws with Jalen Hurts in the coverage. So, I mean, again, like, those are the only problems I really have with the Eagles' play calling, and that was really disastrous. Other than that, I thought they did well. I thought they made adjustments. They made adjustments. They really did. And I'm so proud. I'm really proud to see that. I am. I mean, come on now. I mean, look. The Eagles' offense made adjustments, and the fact that they were able to make adjustments and the players actually executed the adjustments was amazing to me. The Eagles' offense had a lot of rust on them early in the game because they had a 10-day rest, whatever. They had a lot of rust. The play calling wasn't great also, but then come out of the halftime, end of the second half, they made the adjustments. Barkley started to run free. A.J. Brown was creating open routes. Jalen Hurts looked great the entire game. The Eagles made adjustments, not just on the offensive side of the football, but the entire team made adjustments. I'm proud. I'm proud, and I'm proud, and I'm proud. And as I stated before, and I'll state it again, this was the Eagles' best and most impressive win of the season. It was. It really was. I'm proud of this team. I'm happy with what I saw. Nick Sirianni didn't really get out coached. He stood his lane. He did what he had to do. I am proud. I'm proud, and I am proud. But yeah, Eagles win 37-20 in SoFi Stadium on Sunday Night Football. I appreciate all he is for tuning into the podcast. There's not enough. My love and appreciation is, I can't express it enough. But I love you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night.